French and Russian works etched in vivid colors are the focus of this CSO program, led by James Gaffigan. Paris theaters refused to stage Saint-Saëns' Samson and Delilah, partly because operas on biblical subjects were deemed too controversial in 1877. But Franz Liszt stepped in and arranged for a premiere in Weimar instead. The story centers on Samson, the Israelite strongman, and Delilah, the Philistine woman who seduces and betrays him. We'll hear the third act Bacchanale, in which Samson is held captive in a temple while the Philistines taunt him with a provocative dance. The music builds from a slithering oboe melody, drums pound, dancers cavort, and the scene builds to a wild climax. Violinist Lisa Batiashvili joins us for a pair of French pieces. Saint-Saëns composed his introduction and rondo capriccioso for the Spanish virtuoso Pablo de Sarasate. The score alternates between brilliant and melancholy episodes while exploring a catalog of virtuosic effects. At times, the music has a Spanish feel, with a guitar-like accompaniment in the strings. Ernest Chausson wrote his poem for the great Belgian virtuoso Eugène Ysaÿe. Chausson initially titled it The Song of Love Triumphant, after a romantic novella by Ivan Turgenev about two young men who fall in love with the same woman, who was possibly modeled after the singer Pauline Viardot. Whether there's any parallel between the story and the score has long been debated. The single-movement piece is sensuous, moody, and sprinkled with pyrotechnics for the soloist. Mussorgsky composed A Night on Bald Mountain after reading stories about witchcraft and the supernatural. He envisioned a mountaintop assembly of witches, sorcerers, and evil spirits on St. John's Eve. For a setting, he chose Lisa Hora, which is believed to be an actual hill near Kyiv. Mussorgsky's score went through several phases and initially failed to gain traction. But 5 years after his death, Rimsky-Korsakov reorchestrated his friend's piece, and as any fan of Disney's Fantasia knows, it became a staple of the orchestral canon. The CSO gave its U.S. premiere in 1893. Finally, Tchaikovsky first adapted Shakespeare's Romeo and Juliet when he was 28 and under the sway of his mentor, Mily Balakirev. It was Balakirev who suggested the opening chorale, which depicts the kind-hearted Friar Lawrence. But it was Tchaikovsky's idea to use the binary structure of sonata form to depict the feuding Montagues and Capulets. And in a master stroke, he saves the big statement of the soaring love theme for the final climax. Tchaikovsky reworked his fantasy overture 3 times, ultimately delivering a masterpiece of suspense and tragedy.